Welcome to Magic Arcanum. I'm Ryan Gomez. Behind the scenes is Nicole Burdick, and we're so glad you're here because it's story time. I love games that tell stories, as you know, so I was very excited when a starter pack for the Massive Verse fighting card game showed up in my mailbox recently. This is it right here. This is everything two people need to start playing this game, and it all fits into basically a single booster pack, which is so cool. But that did leave me wondering, how much story is really in here? And how well does this game capture the flavor of its own source material, which is several years worth of comic books? So let's start right there. Massive Verse is a shared universe of stories written by Kyle Higgins and published by Image Comics. And it features over 40 books by my count that follow the adventures of about a dozen or so main characters. If you're looking for something other than your classic Marvel or DC lineup, these are a great alternative. Smaller publishers tend to do, frankly, more interesting things. And that's true in movies, games, and comics, where the story told is the vision of a focused team rather than that of a big corporation who is worried about appeasing shareholders. You know? Anyway, ramifications of commercialized mass media aside, the Massive Verse is very diverse. So it's easy to find a character you can identify with, and then pick out their matching deck in this game and, beat your opponent down with them. To be clear, this isn't a trading card game, and there is no deck customization. Instead, you pick a character, and they have a pre-designed deck that tries to capture the strengths and weaknesses that they show in their comic storyline. Think of it more like Overwatch, if that's a thing people still play. I don't know. If you're a Tracer main, your loadout is the same as every other Tracer, but you as a player still get to decide how best to leverage those skills and abilities. Enter the rock, paper, scissors style of gameplay that defines Massive Verse. Okay? Each deck is effectively just 9 cards. An avatar card that represents your chosen character, an ultimate ability card that will sit on the table next to them and charge up over time, and a passive ability card that also stays on the table and provides an ongoing static benefit of some sort. Then you get 6 more cards that go into your hand. Both players pick one of them to put face down, and then reveal them simultaneously, and this is where things get rocky, or papery, or scissory. That's because each deck has the same 6 types of cards, and some of them block each other. So if I open with my pressure card, which is a strength type card, and you lead off with your assessment finalized agility card, this little black bar across the bottom here says my card counters yours. That rewards me with an energy, which charges up my ultimate that I can use later, and makes you put your card back into your hand, leaving you with a blank turn, while I get to carry out the effect on my own card, in this case, 1 damage against your character's starting 10 health points. Now, eventually, you will run out of cards in hand, so each deck also includes a rest card, which picks up your discard pile, including the rest itself, and moves it all back to your hand so you can start the cycle over again. But there's a catch here, too. Each character has a weapon card, and if I play mine while you go for your rest, I get an insta-kill, no matter how much health you had remaining. So you probably don't want to leave your rest for your last card in hand, or it is super telegraphed, and I can just hit you with my weapon, but you also can't always make it your 5th card played either, or that becomes just as predictable. That leaves us with a fun bit of tension as each player trades blows and tries to find an opportune time to take their rest without leaving themselves totally open to the execution waiting in their opponent's hand. The whole game takes about 10 minutes and plays out differently each time, which makes this a great way to fill the gap waiting for the rest of your commander pod to show up and settle in. And since each player only needs 9 cards and maybe 2 dice to track health and energy, you can easily find room for a deck or two in your game bag. It is fun, fast, and convenient, and at just $5 for the starter, it is super affordable. They also have a big box that gives you 8 more full decks and a special team-up box that turns the game into a team-based 4-player variant, both for about $25 each. That's all nice and good, but remember, we're looking at how well this game tells its story, right? So how does it measure up there? Well, each character definitely feels different. Even though each deck has the same 6 card types, some characters are stronger in some areas than others, which means knowing your matchup is key, because counter cards can throw off your whole strategy, and even the tankiest build can still fall to a well-timed weapon when they take their desperately needed rest. The ultimate and passive cards also go a long way to helping flesh out each character. For example, in the stories, Inferno Girl Red struggles a lot with self-doubt. In the game, when she's ahead on HP, she's quite strong. But as soon as she takes enough hits to put her behind, her passive kicks in and actually gives her a debuff, making her a bit of a glass cannon type. Can you leverage your early attacks and stay aggressive enough to win the damage race? Or will one lucky sucker punch from your opponent break your concentration and send you spiraling out of control? It's a really flavorful twist on a classic aggro archetype, and that's just one of the many characters you can pick up for this game and be playing within minutes. The vibrant art and clean card design also helps each list feel distinct and memorable, and even if you've not read any of the supporting comics, it's pretty easy to tell who's a villain and who's a hero in this universe. Overall, I think this game is a great value. It feels like a high-quality product and a well-polished game that embraces its own source material, and it comes across as a real passion project rather than a money grab. Now, they do have the option to upgrade your character cards to foil versions if you end up liking this game enough to want to bling it out, though, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, thank you to Solus Game Studio for sending me the starter pack and letting me play around in the Massive Verse, and good luck on your retail store launch coming October 15th. If you can't wait to get your hands on the Massive Verse fighting card game, you can order online right now using the link down below, which supports independent comic and game creators. And that is a story I would love to hear about. So leave me a comment with your favorite character from the Massive Verse too. Then make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the great stories you'll only find here on Magic Arcanum. We'll see ya.